made it pretty far, all things considered. Thanks for your applause. Still, every time I close the door and another one open, I get this panic that my life is now on pause. The dark gets cleared, the board's been cleaned. There's nothing left on my screen. The plate is empty, so it seems. Now is the time to ask, okay, what's next? This was fun while it lasted, nothing comes to you ask it. So I'd really like to know what's next. Around the corner, down the street, whatever's meant for me to meet. I'm waiting for it anxiously, so tell me please, what's next? Haunting me and I'd like it to go. See, I could be one of three and still moving slow, full of promise and potential till my eyes finally close. But I got time, got years and years, work to do, but I got fears and there's a ringing in my ears. So still I gotta ask, okay, what's next? This was fun while it lasted, nothing comes to you ask it. So I'd really like to know what's next. Around the corner, down the street, whatever's meant for me to meet. I'm waiting for it anxiously, so tell me please, what's next?
All right. Hey, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you may be in this beautiful, transformative, awakening planet of ours. This is Metaphysical Mocha Mondays. I am your host, Marc Lainhart, the Intuitive Prospector, psychic, medium, teacher, explorer, dreamer, hiker, diver, Sasquatch, alien and UFO enthusiast, and most importantly, a prospector out searching the mystic and life's many mysteries, but also to help you find the diamond within. So happy New Year to you. We're coming in from Seattle, Washington. We are back. I take the month of December off to rest, reflect, and rejuvenate and gear up for what's going to be a very busy 2023. So happy New Year to you. I raise my glass to you. Got the M for Metaphysical Mocha Mondays. So let's have a chat. Let's have a conversation. Let's talk about what's going on, give you some updates Hope you like the new swag about finding the diamond within. If you're interested in how to get cool hats like this or cool shirts like this, go out and do some cool shit. I'm with a company called Busted Tees, and if you're part of my Patreon prospectors, which was new for last year, there's a discount code that you can order stuff like this, these shirts. You can create your own, and you get 20% off if you use the code. So the best way to do that is to subscribe to any of my different channels that I have going on at marclainhart.com, or become a Patreon prospector, or subscribe here on the new Facebook subscribers hub that Facebook has enabled. So I thought I'd just have some fun, do some different video filters as I've learned how to do Zoom a little bit better. So we'll change it up to some smiley faces, because 2022 was a tough year. Let's just be clear. 2022, there was a lot of changes. I'm not really sure where 2022 went, to be honest with you. It just seemed to go by so quick. And, 2022 was the year of the 6 from a numerology standpoint. So this morning, I'm going to just share some things that I see coming up, some things that I project or forecast. I use the word prediction very lightly, because when you have the ability to tune in to see things that haven't actually come into fruition yet, they haven't come into reality yet, a lot of times they're not 100% right. But if you've followed my work, if you're following my page and you're one of my awesome either Patreon prospectors or one of the awesome prospectors on the Facebook page, you followed my work, for a few years now, I've talked about the divide of the United States. I've talked about culture wars, civil wars, how politics is going to divide and destroy this great country that we are. And it's unfortunate, but we also have the opportunity. We're all responsible for what happens next around the world and in our own lives. And the year of 2022 was about the 6, which was about taking care and self-care, and a lot of us were doing that, kind of recovering from the pandemic, recovering from this global pandemic that not only killed over 7 million people and over 1 million people in the United States, but it transformed consciousness, it transformed thought. A few examples that I talked about was the quiet quitting, where people are not engaged with their jobs anymore or their relationships. I do a lot of consulting in my work, and people just leaving relationships for no reason other than they just wanted to go out and find themselves. This pandemic, sorry, still playing around with my settings here. Let me take that filter off here. There's just a lot of cool filters on with Zoom 10. Zoom 10, oh, that's kind of cool. You get Christmas lights. I can wear cool glasses. Pizza on my head. So, it's just, different things you can do on Zoom. And this is part of the digital transformation. But if you follow my work, I always try to do a forecast or a projection, or what the year is going to look like ahead, what the year is going to feel like ahead. And 2023, like I said, 2022 from a numerology standpoint, was about self-care, the year of 6. So compassionate, humanitarian, and taking care of ourselves. And the pandemic had a lot of people kind of going in and reflecting in and looking at their world with a new perspective, a new set of eyes, if you will. And I talked about this back in 2019. I started to talk about this because 2019 was the year of Aquarius, and Aquarius is the age of Aquarius is about transformation. And I said that our roaring 20s were going to be quite transformative for everybody, regardless of your belief, regardless of, what you look like, who you love. And we're seeing a lot of that being stirred up consciously in society. And so 2022 was the year of 6 to, return to us as a form of self-care, care for the planet, care how society is behaving or misbehaving, I guess. And when I take my month of December off to get ready for January in 2023, it really is about reflecting and looking ahead. And for those of you that have followed my work for a long time, that I've used words of self-mastery, homeostasis, which homeostasis is a center balance between fight or flight in medicine. It's about how the nervous system can get into a sense of calmness, a sense of balance. We're seeing more and more of that as society, with the mass shootings, just that horrible killing of the 4 college students in Idaho. We actually know the grandparents of this, the young man that was murdered, and catching, the alleged killer. Stuff like this in the world, and what we're seeing in the world with the violence and the war and the potential of war. That can be very discerning. It can trigger a lot within you, your anxiety, your uncertainties, but that's what life is. And 2022 was a message to not get so caught up in what's going on in the world, but get caught up more on what's happening with you and where your journey has taken you and how you find grounding and balance and meditation and homeostasis and self-mastery and sustainability. These are words that I've been using since late 2018 when I started to talk about how the Roaring Twenties was going to transform our society, both digitally, consciously, artificial intelligence. And 2023, now this is interesting because when I meditated and started writing about this, and I've got a couple podcasts coming up and a couple articles coming out, and a couple interviews that we'll be talking about that are going to be coming out as well. 2023 is known as the year of the 7. So 7 is one of the most spiritually referenced numbers in numerology. Now, was I always a numerologist? No, I actually was pretty horrible at math. I think I got up in high school. I think I got up to pre-calculus and just like, I don't understand this. Some people resonate with math. I'm just not one of those people. Even in college, I took my basic, stats and my 101 classes and all that. And I struggled through it, but I just didn't understand it. Now, what I understand today is mathematics is a universal language for everything. It's interesting about mathematics because we didn't actually create mathematics. Mathematics was discovered by the human consciousness, by the human race. And so that's always kind of stuck with me. So when I look at numbers influence my life a lot. Signs, symbols, synergy, synchronistic events, whether I'm working mediumistically or I'm working psychically or teaching a class on metaphysics or the Metaphysical Mocha Mondays or the Q&A Cafe, numbers can play a very important role. And when you look at 2023, what you do from a numerology standpoint is you break it down. So you just add the numbers across. You can do this with your letters in your alphabet. You can do this with your date of birth. But the simple way just to explain it, numerology, as far back as we know, it's about 11,000 years old, the actual study of it, the actual going back to Pythagorean's theorem, music notes and how music notes intertwined with mathematical equations. So it's quite interesting. But what you do is you just add up 2023. 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 3 equals 7, if I'm doing my math right. And so 7 is a very spiritual number. It's one of the most spiritually referenced numbers in the index of numerology. And you could talk about, we used to have 7 continents. We know that we have 8, but the 7 deadly sins, the 7 seas, 7 sisters for 7 brothers. I mean, there's just so many references to the number 7. And 2023 is what we call the contemplative truth seeker. So what does that mean? So 2023 is going to be about truths. And what's interesting about when it comes to truths, some very big things are going to be revealed. And we're already starting to see that in our society, our political environment, our leadership environment, big companies, the world, this war, UAPs, UFOs, aliens. There's going to be more to come out on that, I promise you. And I'll be doing some podcasts and some shows about that in 2023. I don't know, I was watching, I'm an insider for the Skinwalker Ranch, and they were talking about Brandon, who owns the ranch, why isn't this being talked about more? And some don't want things to change. People would choose to remain blind or ignorant or status quo, because that would change their world. It would change their beliefs. It would change how they see the world. It might change how they see themselves in this world and their place in this world. So he talked about why people are not talking about that there's a species that's more advanced than us by far, that's observing us and watching us. And I call it the drip, drip, drip. And I've been talking about this for a couple years now. And of course, when I first started, people, put on your tinfoil hat wearing conspiracy theory mindset of, aliens are just made up. But if you start to really connect the dots, in the longest running conspiracy theory in history, going back to paintings from the 1500s to the references to today, to the amount of sightings that's taken place, it's like they're preparing us to reveal, not this year. Some analysts, some theorists, some CIA insiders have talked about 2027 being the year where we finally realize that we're not alone in the universe. And that changes a lot of concepts: philosophy, technology, religion, communications, mindset. And it doesn't even need to be, little green men, from outer space. It can literally be, there's so much about our planet that we don't know. And as I said at the beginning of the opening of the first show of 2023, I'm not only just a teacher and a psychic and a medium, but I'm a UFO, UAP, alien, Sasquatch enthusiast, Loch Ness monster, all of the mysteries that we always hear about. I love to prospect for them, and questions that are out there. And that's where my whole journey on this, it started out as a spiritual journey, but now it's become more of over the years, it's become more of just prospecting for what's out there. The earth has so many secrets and mysteries and riches to reveal about how do we go using our intuition to prospect for the things that we're interested in. 2023 is going to be that year of truth. 2023 is going to be a year of wisdom. It's going to be a year of individualism. It's going to be a year of self-awareness. And I like to use key words. Like I said earlier on, when we hit our roaring 20s, I call them our roaring 20s of change and transformation. And I use the words, like I said, self-mastery, sustainability, homeostasis. Those were words that resonated with me. This year, the words that resonate with my forecasting and my projection of 2023, for those of you that are interested, you may not even be interested in that. And that's okay too, free will and choice. But it's the year of growth. It's the year of wisdom. It's the year of individualism. It's the year of self-awareness. What the number 7 represents is we tend to look or even just notice certain numbers in our everyday lives. For me, just the other night, I woke up at 3:33. Now, my clock set a half hour ahead so I can be on time in life. But it's just funny that I will wake up, even though it's not 3:33, my clock will represent 3:33, which is a very silent, thinning of the veil, quiet time of connection to what is unseen. And I always remind people, just because you don't see it doesn't mean it's not around us. And so for me, I find the numbers 3s constantly. I find the number 8 is because I'm a life path 8. So I see, and you don't even have to see it on the clock. You could see it in a movie, on a license plate. There's just, the numbers can speak to you if you realize to learn and see this new communication versus just a vibration off the vocal cord. And that's what I teach on. That's what I teach my students on. That's what I love, the mysteries and the mystic. And, I always remind people, when you become aware of the mystic becomes aware of you, and there's a connection and there's a drawing together like two magnets. I haven't found anything nefarious or evil or scary about it, or what you see in a Hollywood movie. It's more about just life and what life can offer us, and the mysteries of life and the secrets of life and what is unseen in life. I always say, explore the unknown, see the unseen, because we're somewhere in between, right? We're in between the physical world, the incarnate world, and the unseen discarnate world. Some of you may call it heaven, summerland, the afterlife. Everybody has different perspectives. But what the perspective of 2027, which is the contemplative truth seeker, the things that are going to start to unfold for you, especially with the 7, is the spiritual truths. And not all truths are fun to receive. Some truths truth brings forth change and transformation, of course, but truth can also bring about self-sabotage, the truths of your own self, the truths of your relationship, the truths of your career, the truth of your health. What your journey is. And a lot of times in this type of format, this type of year, there's a couple things that you can do to, help you become a specialty in your craft, whatever it is. And that becomes, going within and gleaning and tapping into that wisdom and downloading. Think about it this way. This is how one of my teachers told me all the information we ever need to know is right here, right now. It's about how we connect to it and how we download it. Just like computers, everything is in the cloud now. Windows 365 is all about being in the cloud. How we upload, how we download, how do we connect, how do we become aware? So all of the information, past, present, future, because we're the only species that measures our life by time. It's interesting if you become, through meditation or yoga or qigong or tai chi, breath work, soma breath work, doing a lot of breath work. These are all different things that you can do to tap in, to download this year for 2023. But it's about listening to your inner selves and our intuition this year. We are growing, we are learning, we are accomplishing, we are changing at such a fast, rapid rate. And in life and society is having a hard time keeping up with that. Now, I do want to just point out there is a new number that's out there for anybody that's struggling or having a rough go. And I always promote this at the beginning of the year and definitely during the holidays, because we have resources out there for people. And this is about finding that diamond within. So we have the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, and that's 1-800-273-TALK or 1-800-273-8255. You can also visit them online at suicidepreventionlifeline.org. But now we have the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, which is 988, that's now enacted. So you can get on your phone if you're having a rough day. Maybe you've had an injury, maybe you're dealing with depression, maybe you're dealing with suicidal tendencies. You can dial 988 and they can start to get you into the right direction. Mental health, talking with a counselor, communication is a big part of this. Don't hold that in. There's a lot of people, I've had friends, I've had family members that have committed suicide. I was rocked with the suicide of Twitch that I've watched for years as he was coming up as a dancer on So You Think You Can Dance, and just very inspirational. But yet at the same time, there was something going on with him where if he would have reached out or communicated, I don't think he would have committed suicide like he did and leave his beautiful family and his beautiful life behind. So people just want the pain to stop. And so if you want the pain to stop, the best way that I've found in doing this, and I've done a lot of consulting and a lot of grieving counseling and a lot of grieving readings where people have lost loved ones, is communication and being open to receive and open to listen. And that's also going to tie into 2023 because it's about receiving the truth. It's about receiving, that intuition that I was talking about. So this year is going to be about growth. It's going to be about wisdom. It's going to be about individualism. It's going to be about self-awareness. The number 7, if it comes up, it keeps coming up. It's because we're in the year of the 7. It's about spiritual truths. It's about seeking your own truth. It doesn't even have to be spiritual or religious in nature. It can just be about, what is your truth? What do you want this year to be? What do you want your life to be? So I won't get into all the different life paths. You can go look that up on your own for what the life path. I just know that for me, I'm a life path 8, which is infinity. I know for me, it's always about hard work, responsibility, success. This year's more about a materialistic success because I've been, putting in so much different work in the things that I do. But you can go just look up numerology 2023, what your life path entails. But really, I just wanted to share with you today, it really is about seeking truth. And some of the life lessons for the 7 energy, based on my charts for the 7 energy, it's really about embracing imperfection. It's about to be open-minded. It's about being patient and tolerant. 7 represents discovering your spiritual truth, whatever that is for you. If you're a full believer, if you're an agnostic, if you're not a believer at all, it's really about what your truths are. And, to be working on your hope and your faith, whatever that may be, to communicate with your emotions this year. That's a big part of that, especially for all you guys out there. To be trusting and open of others, which is very tough in today's dog eat dog world, and it's really hard. It was like a Peanuts cartoon, and he was asking Snoopy, how can you trust people? And he says, as long as it barks or purrs, you're good to go. So animals are really good with trust and helping with that. But I look at people that have a life path 7, like Deepak Chopra. He's a life path 7. This will be his year, so you're gonna see a lot of different things happening with the number 7. So that's 2023 in a nutshell. I'll be talking more about the 7 energy this year. Like I said, we have upcoming podcasts coming up. We're scheduling for that. Good morning again to my team that helps me, at my administrators here on the Facebook page. We'll get ready for the Q&A cafe. So that's where I'll actually interact with you and take questions, or you can ask me, what's my year look like? Or you can draw a card. We can do dowsing rods. I've got a pendulum. I've got my own intuition. If it's mediumship, you come into the Zoom room and I put a link out there and you come in, and we just have all sorts of fun. But as far as, 2023, I hope it is what you make it, because what the 7 encourages, it really, the main message is it encourages your evolution, to find in the diamond within. You can do predictions, you can do forecasting, you can do looking ahead, but it's never 100% certain. I haven't met a psychic or a medium that's 100% accurate, and that's okay. But it's about tapping into that knowledge of whether it's numerology or ancient book readings or meditation or cards or tea leaves or singing bowls. There's just all sorts of different ways to experience and to evolve who we are as humans, our consciousness, because we're not just human beings. We're spiritual energy beings that has evolved and incarnated to have human experiences. So, have awesome human experiences, do cool shit this year, go out and prospect for the diamond of what you want, because, life is so very, very short, and numerology is just one way to try to become aware of stuff that's not always seen in your vocabulary or your database of information. And so 7 is really about going to a calm period. We've been in a lot of unstable, chaotic ways of being the last few years, starting in 2020 with this pandemic, and the politics and the country divide, and culture wars and civil wars and transformations. But this is a great need to focus on one's inner life this year. The 7 represents analysts and wisdom. I think that this year is going to be a big year of technology and algorithms. I also believe that some of the biggest truths and secrets that we have that we don't know about. I always talk about the secrets of Antarctica, the secrets of space exploration, but what's out there in our universe, and the secrets of our ocean, because we know more about our moon than we do our own ocean. And like I said, little green men don't have to come from outer space. They could be here already and have a way to, I just went diving yesterday in the Puget Sound, or hiking in the mountains. There's so many locations around the planet, whether it's in the water or in the mountains, that we just don't go to, that we're just not aware. There's a lot of mysteries out there, a lot of life's mysteries and mystical things that we can pay attention to. So don't be afraid this year of new challenges. Try to rise mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Like I said, we're spiritual, energetic beings having a human experience. And we have our 5 senses, but use this year of 2023, the year of the 7, to increase your PEMs, your physical, your emotional, your mental, your material, and your spiritual world, using all of your senses, including your brain and your eyes and your ears and your tongue and your nose and your intuition, your claircognizance, which is your gut feeling, to really, go out this year and, claim your authentic self, to claim a more harmonious life. Don't hesitate to take up, a new sport or a new hobby, or try, we always get into January as healthy diets and hit the workout room. That's always good, but just breath of fresh air, going to new places, meeting new people. Let 2023 be your year of reaching for the stars, reaching to a potential you never thought you were capable of, turning the page, putting the history behind you, evolving. That's what really this year is about. And for me, I'm not doing as many events as I've done in the years past. I am doing a lot more on Zoom now with my clients. The studio is open again for in-person readings. I have updated my website, so my website has been really updated with the latest technology, the latest bookings. I am happy to report I am now a certified sound therapist. So this little bench here pulls out into a nice bed with a chakra alignment chart. That table behind me swings now, and we can do a nice sound bath with a reading in studio. The sound baths are only in studio for right now, so that new pricing is up on my website. I believe I have a 50-minute, a 70-minute, and a 90-minute, and the 90-minute also includes a reading after the sound bath. So I hope to do more sound healing. There's a lot of insight and information about vibrational frequency sound healing. Nikola Tesla talked about this all the way back in 1865. So I wanted to get more into sound therapy, breath work. I'm going to be doing a lot more breath work. I'm going to be doing a lot more of group sessions on experiencing the etheric. So what I call the ABCs of spiritualism: attunement, breath, connecting to your higher self, connecting maybe to a loved one or a fur baby. And that's going to be on my different channels and through my Learn It Live, through my Patreon prospectors, through Insight Timer, through Clubhouse, through Wisdom, all the stuff that I'm associated with and connected to. You can go to marclainhart.com right down there. marclainhart.com. The website's now updated, and I don't have an online store yet. That's a work in progress because I do all my own web design and my own coding and everything. So it takes time, but eventually, in either later this year or 2024, I'll have an online store where I'm selling not just my Lavender Love. Got a bottle here somewhere. Don't have to. Here we go. So I sell this locally now in West Seattle at a couple of the thriftways. It's great for hiking. It's I call it shift spray, not shit spray, shift spray, because it's really good for aromatherapy. You can, when you spray it, it's not heavy lavender. My mentor, I make this myself. It's all organic. My mentor taught me years ago before she passed over how to make this. The ingredients are on here. And so I sell this now, Lavender Love, on my website. It's under the subscribe tab. Eventually I will have an online store. I also sell, I'm a part of Prime My Body, which is about your health is your true wealth. I found that to be true in my own journey. You know, I'm a retired firefighter, had to retire from injuries. I broke my back. So it helped me to start learning different modalities from, you know, Qigong, breath work, acupuncture, massage therapy, stretching, all of these. But at the same time, I also started to take CBD or CBG, depending on what you want to call it. And one of the ones that I take is called Calm. And so that link is also at the subscribe. It's awareness.primemybody.com. And they sell all sorts of great hemp product. This is the hemp plant. This doesn't get you high. This actually helps with homeostasis. If we want to get to homeostasis, where we're not in a constant fight or flight all the time, sometimes supplements can be very beneficial for that, as well as coffee. But there's one called Calm, there's one called Focus. I've got some muscle injuries that I use their CBD hemp cream on, which works really, really well. They even have now drops for your dogs. If your fur babies, your cats, your dogs are having any kind of seizures or having medical problems, they're really showing how the hemp plant is coming back into our society in a big way. And it's not with the ability to get high. That's THC. That's the upper part of the hemp plant. But the lower part of the hemp plant, which has over 50,000 different uses and modalities. I always say hemp is the only plant that can heal you, house you, and feed you. So there's just some spectacular stuff to the hemp plant. There's a podcast on Inspired Living. I've had some guests on. There's a page called Awareness, Hemp Plant Awareness Community, if you want to join that here on Facebook. That's all about what's going on for the hemp product. And again, we have to change how we look at, because people hear hemp and they automatically think of getting high and smoking a big joint. It's not that at all. It's literally the benefits of the hemp plant. If you do your own research and you do your own prospecting, you'll realize how long hemp has been around and why it got taken out of our society, and why we have a health sick system. So if you're interested, you can get all these different products at my new updated website. You can get Calm, Focus, there's Shield, there's a couple different things. I take the gummies that help with sleep. They have CBD in it. It's called Dream. So you can check that out at my site, website at marclainhart.com. Get some Lavender Love, get some shift spray aromatherapy. It's funny because I actually created this for hikes back in the day for Forest Fridays, and we just did our first hike of the year up at Mount Rainier. We called it Saturday Sleuthing because we did it on Saturday. But I'll have hikes coming out again this year. Forest Friday hike, Saturday Sleuthing. We have some of the best hiking here in the Pacific Northwest. Sound therapy. updated website, got some merch. I eventually will have inspirational wear. That's my goal, is to have more inspirational wear like this that you can purchase from the Intuitive Prospector, and all about finding that diamond within. Like I said, other updates, you can find me on Learn It Live, my Patreon Prospect membership page. I'm on Clubhouse now and Wisdom. Those links are all there. Congratulations to my Best American Psychic colleagues. They just announced the awards. So congratulations to all of them. Sound therapy starting this year. We're ready to rock and roll. What else? Radio show will be back on January 11th. We're going to be talking about our veterans. So that show is being in the process of being worked up right now. And then we'll be back on the 25th for another show. I think that's my numerology show. And then we're going to be doing near-death experiences and having a few awesome people on the show for Inspired Living. But I just want to say before we wrap, thank you to the Inspired Living listeners. You've actually put Inspired Living into the top 100 inspirational podcasts to listen to and follow in 2023, 2022, 2021. This list, we fluctuate between 27 and 19, depending on how many downloads and users go listen to the shows. But because of you, the inspired listeners, you've helped create this top 100. And there's thousands of podcasts out there, y'all. And so to be on this list, and this list has featured Steve Harvey, Michelle Obama, Oprah Winfrey. We're talking some very big names. I'm like, how am I even on the same list with these type of people that are very well known, very famous, and do awesome inspirational work? It's just a very honored and humbled to be on that same list. But thank you. I appreciate you, the listeners, for tuning in on Wisdom Wednesdays. And that's we're going to be coming into our 8th season. 8th season? 7th season. I think we just wrapped our 7th season. We're going into our 8th season. I'll have to double check it. Maybe it is our 7th season, which would be interesting because that would be the year of the 7, 2023. 2015, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. No, we're 8 seasons. I started in 2015. But I just want to say thank you for making Inspired Living a top rated, voted on inspirational podcast. Couldn't do it without you. I have new teams now. I have a few more administrators, so welcome to the team if you're administrating for the Intuitive Prospector. Welcome to both Jody and Colleen on my inspirational team for Inspired Living. They're my coordinators now. We get a lot of PR requests, and so they're helping me. So welcome to the Inspired Living Radio team. I appreciate all of you for helping me and creating a environment where we can promote positivity, inspiration, encouragement, motivation. A lot of what social media is going to go through the next 2 to 3 years with legislation and algorithms and how it influences our conversations is going to be very important to watch. So 2023 is going to be the year of truth, algorithms, social media impacts, and how that social media world is going to change and how we communicate with one another. If you follow my work, you know that whether it's on Instagram or TikTok or Twitter or Facebook, you always know that I try to promote positivity in my platforms. That's the whole reason that I do this anymore. It's the only reason I use social media anymore, to be honest with you, is to promote vibrational energy that can reach people. If you like the content, great. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button on YouTube, or go to marclainhart.com. If you don't, no worries. Just keep scrolling. That's part of the journey. That's what it's all about. But if you want to work with me in 2023, again, marclainhart.com right here. And updated website, and you can get to all the links from there. I'll have new sound baths coming on Insight Timer. I do have a few seats open for my spiritual development group that starts on Wednesday. We're back. So if you want to visit the tribe and see how we vibe and see what we work on, we work on everything spiritual modalities, sound therapy, breath work, meditations, mediumship, psychic. If you want to visit, just send me an email. That link is at marclainhart.com. Just click on the SDG link or picture, and that'll actually trigger an email. Or get on my Soul Adventures newsletter, and you can always get a hold of me there. But we're going to be starting up group. We meet Wednesdays at 5:15 Pacific Standard Time because we have people all across the country and over in Europe and up in Canada. And so it's just a fun way to vibe with the tribe and try different things that you may not have tried before. Vibrational chants, like I said, breath work, practicing, experiencing etheric, mediumship and all that. I don't have a lot of events coming up I specifically chose that. because I'm doing a lot more writing. I'm writing my papers for accreditation and demonstrating and speaking in mediumship with an organization that I'm part of. Working on a couple different projects. Now remember, I have my day job too, and I teach down at the hospital, so I stay quite busy. That's why I take December off to recover and to rejuvenate and to rest and reflect, because January I'm back at it, doing lots of different things, wearing many different hats. But we try to be here on Mondays at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for Metaphysical Mocha Mondays, to have a cup of Joe, just to inspire you, to encourage you, to motivate you to think outside the box, and to discover that diamond within, because we all have a diamond. And my job as a teacher, as an inspirer, as a host, as a podcast, radio guy, is to promote positivity, change, homeostasis, sustainability, self-mastery, truths, healing, wisdom, transformations, all of that good stuff. So that's what I do. That's who I am. And it's all about prospecting, about all of the life's mysteries that are out there. So I wish you all a very happy, healthy, transformative 2023, the year of the 7, truth. Stick around. We'll have more information coming out on the newsletter, the podcast, the articles, the interviews that I'm doing, my YouTube channel, Soul Adventures, and just hang out with me for the year. Let's give it a go. Let's see what we can explore and discover together, and I can help you see maybe a different perspective, and you can help me see a different perspective. That's what this journey is all about. So I just want to say I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you for all the followers of the page. We're almost at 42,000 followers on Facebook. So thank you for the Inspired Living follow to make us a top-rated inspirational podcast. And thank you to Om Times. They recognized me this year for the OMI Awards, and I was recognized as a top radio spiritual teacher and inspirer for what I do on Inspired Living. So I recently received this OMI Award for 2022, and it was an honor to receive that and just have the work acknowledged. And that's on the webpage if you want to learn more about that. So with that, we'll get ready for the Q&A cafe. I hope my team is ready. I hope they're back. I haven't reached out to them, so if you guys could let me know when you're on. We'll come back here in about 5 minutes. Let me get queued up. Let me kind of get into the space. If you have a question, if you want a card, again, there's a lot of different ways that we can work. Intuition, I can pull a book and we can talk from a book. We can go psychic, we can go mediumship, we can go dowsing rods, we can go pendulum. There's just so many ways to connect these days. But I hope that you'll join me here on the Intuitive Prospector page. The Q&A cafe is rolling out here in about 5 minutes. Again, best way to follow me, marclainhart.com, or get on my newsletter, subscribe to my newsletter, Soul Adventures, or my YouTube channel, TikTok or Instagram. There's lots of places. So we're just going to have fun this year. Life is short, and I just want to leave you with this as we close out the first show of Metaphysical Mocha Mondays. I wrote it down here just to set the tone, set the intention, because your intention determines your outcome a lot of times. And this is just what I want to recap and say to all of my fans, all of my followers, all of my listeners, and maybe this helps you with your own journey. I'm walking into 2023 with a clear heart, mind, and conscience. If you owe me, don't worry about it. You're welcome. If you wronged me, it's all good. Lessons learned. If you're angry with me, you've won. If we aren't speaking, it's cool. I wish you well. If you feel I wronged you, I apologize. Life is too short for anger, holding grudges, and extra pain. Some people didn't make it this year. Some won't make it through the next. So live each day as it's your last. I know for me, last year was pretty tough because we lost a family member. We almost lost 2 family members. Well, we lost 1 family member, one almost to COVID. 2 of my mentors passed away, and now mentor from the other side. So that was tough for me in my journey. But it's a reminder that life is only guaranteed right now, today, not tomorrow, and we can't do anything about the past. So as we move forward into 2023, don't let others bring you down and feel like you are nothing. Don't buy into that bullshit. Don't buy into people that, they know you for a minute, and their words matter more than someone that's known you your whole life. That's the negative aspects of social media: misinformation, disinformation, the opinions of others. It's none of your business what other people think of you. Do your thing, and if you're doing it the right way, you're doing it with integrity and ethics and morals and standards and a good heart, and you're paying it forward in the golden rule and the golden circle. Trust me, I've made plenty of mistakes and I've wronged people in my past. But as I move into the now, the present, and my own evolution and my own transformations, it's about apologizing and letting things go. It's not worth carrying all the baggage. I'd rather carry myself healthy and happy through life, making friends and family laugh daily, and just being me, my authentic self. So live, laugh, and love in 2023. And most importantly, wherever you're at in the world, if you're hearing the show or you catch my voice on here, social media, the airwaves, dare to dream, dare to explore, dare to live. And I hope that you'll discover the diamond within. And let's just make 2023 an awesome year for all of us. What we did here at the house at midnight on New Year's Eve, we opened up our front door and our back door. And it's an old saying that says, blow out the old, blow in the new, blow out the false, blow in the true, so mote it be. So that's one old way. Sometimes what didn't work out for you in 2022 really worked out for you in 2023. Don't be afraid to fail. Be afraid not to try. Failure is first attempt in learning. So I hope you fail daily and you fail often, because that's how you learn. That's how you grow. That's how the diamond is evolved and transformed. And as you start to walk on the way appears. Rumi reminds us of that. So last and not least for this year in 2023, the year of 7, the year of truth, is don't be afraid of the future. Create it, starting with planting seeds today for the future you want tomorrow. So until our next soul adventure together, be kind, be caring, be compassionate. And like I said, dare to dream, dare to explore, dare to live. And I hope you'll discover the diamond within in 2023. And if not, let's get in contact with one another and I can help you do that. And we'll make it a fun year. All right, everybody. Much love. I appreciate you and happy New Year. Namaste.
Half 3 when I called you up, said I need you now cause I'm losing patience. By 4 you were knocking on my door. I said love is a two-way road, you don't care no more. Am I going crazy? Needed you just to help forget it all. And it was easy, you put the records on to replay. Dance till we couldn't see straight, till the morning came along. Don't need the weekend, we don't wait until the evening. We don't need to find a reason to turn it up and sing along. Cause that's what friends are for. That's what friends are for. That's what friends are for. Half 3 when I called you up, said I need you now cause I'm losing patience. By 4 you were knocking on my door. I said love is a two-way road, you don't care no more. Am I going crazy? Needed you just to help forget it all. And it was easy, you put the records on to replay. Dance till we couldn't see straight, till the morning came around. Don't need the weekend, we don't wait until the evening. We don't need to find a reason to turn it up and sing along. Cause that's what friends are for.
One planet, 7.3 billion people, only one you. Life offers us many opportunities and learning experiences. Are you ready to explore and discover this beautiful planet, the life and energy all around us, the spiritual world, and what is unseen, along with your own personal soul adventure? Marc Lainhart, the Intuitive Prospector, is the spiritual connection you have been prospecting for. Internationally known as a tested and professional clairvoyant medium and spiritual advisor, Marc's work as a metaphysical teacher, medical instructor, radio show host, inspirational writer, and hiking guide are here to help you on a journey of self-discovery, healing, inspiration, education, and a whole lot of spiritual awesomeness. Dare to dream, dare to explore, dare to live. For more information on Marc's spiritual practice in Seattle, Washington, please visit marclainhart.com or internet search The Intuitive Prospector.